6.2 Technical Model. What is technical model? Technical model is used in sport to assess sporting performance. The main way we determine a technical model is by the way it explains a technique, which is by words rather than numbers. My technical model is focusing on a box out and rebound in basketball. The technical model is quantitative data that is used to analyse performance. This is because This is different to notational analysis because it reviews how the performer is performing and not how many skills or baskets or interceptions the performer is doing. It can help to explain why a performer is performing negatively in certain parts of the notational analysis by breaking down certain techniques of the player and finding specific problems in order for them to be resolved. Compared to notational analysis, the technical model is more subjective because the managers and coaches will have an opinion of what is working, what isn't, where it is and what isn't. Whereas notational analysis is more factual and objective. The technical model also helps to enhance performance by enabling the coach, manager and player to pick out certain parts of the athlete's performance in order to see them in detail and improve them. Method data collection. A technical model data collection can be made in many ways, for example, video, software, Slow Pro software, and Coach's Eye software. However, this time round, we recorded our performers performing the skill in order to capture them and look at them later on. In addition, recording the performer actively doing the skill, the box out and rebound, means that later on the coaches and me can go through the skill step by step, which enables the coach to analyse certain aspects of the skill, being able to break them down and look at what part of the technique is wrong, rather than changing the whole technique, which can also be done through software such as Slow Pro and Coach's Eye. A recording of the athlete's performance can also help them to have a visual understanding of the feedback the performers are being given. Although the coaches have recordings of the athletes' performances, they will also analyse the performance live, so that direct feedback is given. The positives and negatives of using the technical model. Some positives are the fact that it can enhance performance. For example, it can help a performer improve their skills. For example, box out and rebound. If someone wasn't boxing out right, then the coaches can help them correct it and ensuring that they are doing the skill better. Enables comparison against athletes. So each athlete will have their own set of technical model data, and different clubs, different athletes can check those and see how they compare to other athletes. Is precise on certain aspects of the skills of player, so it's not quite as varied as notational analysis, because with the data there is specific parts of a skill that can be changed within the technique, and it gives additional help on the results from a notational analysis. For example, if someone didn't have very good interceptions or didn't have a very high basket rate, then they could see what technical aspects of their performance were involved and were going wrong. Some negatives are the fact that it is difficult to change a performer's technique, because if they have been doing the same technique for a while, then they will find it hard to alter their technique within the game because of force of habit. Another negative is the fact that it is easier for individual sports, for example pole vaulting, running, instead of team sports such as basketball and football, because there is a larger variety of things that can be done in team sports, and there are obviously more players in a team rather than an athlete, which is just individual and singular. It takes a lot of time, so it can't be done right there and then. It can't be direct feedback, it has to be delayed and taken back and looked at, which could cost time within the performance of the athlete. And the last is the viewer must be knowledgeable about the technique. For example, the coach must know about what a box out and rebound is in basketball to be able to analyse the technique and give feedback. The preparation for a box out and rebound, the perfect performance between a performer. Preparation, you should be facing the ball and have contact with the opposition, which is seen here. Bent knees and sitting low in order to have a low centre of gravity and to stabilise themselves. Otherwise the opposition can just push you over. Must be on your toes, keeping in contact with the opposition in order to be ready to react and know your surroundings. Then you have to turn around away from the opposition and towards the basket, keeping in contact with the opposition and having an eye on the ball as it goes over, by having their arms out behind them, blocking the opposition's path. The performer starts off facing the basket instead of the basketball or opposition, meaning they have already lost sight of the ball. The performer starts off facing the basket instead of the basketball or opposition, meaning they have already lost sight of the ball. Meaning they aren't prepared for any changes. However, the performer stays in contact with the opposition, which is a positive because they are therefore able to identify where they are. The performer is also standing fairly straight, meaning that she doesn't have a low centre of gravity or a wide stance, meaning that her stability is low, allowing her opposition to get past easily. When they then turn around towards the basket, following the ball, the performer does keep their arms out, making it harder for the opposition to get closer to the ball, allowing them more time to get the rebound later on. However, the performer doesn't remain in contact with the opposition. This isn't good because it means they don't know for sure where the opposition is. The performer is also able to react with the required movement towards the ball as it comes away from the basket because they are on their toes. Execution, perfect versus performer. In a perfect execution of a box out and rebound, the performer should judge the trajectory of the ball, which is where the ball is bouncing off the backboard, like where it is going to land. This is where you detach yourself from the opposition, making an explosive vertical jump towards the ball, ensuring you extend your arms, gaining ground on the opposition. In the execution stage, the performer started off positively by judging the trajectory of the ball, which allowed her to put herself into the correct position early. With this said, however, my client didn't jump or extend their arms when receiving the ball. They waited for it to bounce before leaning in to receive it. This would be bad in a game situation because the opposition would have taken the ball before them and gained possession. Recovery, perfect versus performer. For the perfect box out rebound, the performer should protect the ball by bringing it towards your chin, sticking their elbows out of their sides to help keep the opposition away. They should then keep two hands of the ball at all times, pivoting away from the position. The ball must then be passed to a player who is either to the side or out of the way of danger, which is also called an outlet. The performer starts off by holding the ball down low, with her elbows in, meaning that it is easier for the opposition to get the ball, which has a negative effect on play because the opposition then has possession. In addition to this, the performer pivots into the opposition, making it easy for them to intercept the block intercept and block the pass they are going to try and make, which will also give them possession of the ball, which has a negative effect on play. The evaluation of the player for box out and rebound. Positives were the fact that they stayed on their toes at all times. They judged where the ball was going to go. They detached themselves away from the opposition and passed the ball to a team member. However, they did not squat down and stay low in order to stay stable, so that the opposition doesn't knock them over. They didn't remain in contact with the opposition, meaning that they could lose where they were, so that they are able to gain ground on you and go find open space in order to receive the ball. They didn't remain in contact with the opposition when turning around, also meaning that they would lose where they were and they could go then find space and get the ball. They didn't jump in to receive the ball off the backboard, meaning that the opposition could have come in and jumped for that ball and received it themselves and then gained possession and taken play back negatively. They didn't protect the ball, allowing the opposition easy access to the ball, also having a negative effect and giving them possession. They didn't pivot with the ball on landing, therefore they couldn't pass the ball out as easily as they should have done.